share his opinion.
Yeah, I think Democrats are in a real pickle on this one because of the qualifications and the impeccable standards by this judge is being viewed by nearly everybody who's ever worked with him, Democrat or Republican alike. And so, you know, Chuck Schumer, trying to play the obstructionist, has 9 Democrats up for election in 2018 in states that Donald Trump won, 5 of whom won by somewhere between 19, Donald Trump won somewhere between 19 and 21 points in these states. Is he going to drive these folks off a cliff?
But it is a little bit hypocritical for the Republicans to talk about the Democrats' obstruction after they did what they did.
But it is a completely different situation, Matt, in that, one, you're in the final year of an administration, and 2, you know, Republicans control the Senate.
They just didn't. I mean, it was a year out. It was a year out. It was a full year politicized. But that shouldn't matter. This in terms of the merits of whether how you fill the court.
But with all due respect, you know, President Obama, when he was in the Senate, tried to filibuster a Supreme Court. Now, you know, Vice President Biden laid out the idea that you shouldn't bring anybody in the last year, particularly if it would tilt the balance of the court.
Yeah, they didn't say don't meet with the guy.
I actually want to pose a slightly different question. It's playing off what Matt was saying, what you were saying about the polls earlier. Do you think this White House is looking at the polling in a conventional way? And how is it going to affect Republican members of Congress like you? If he sticks it in the 40s or below on his overall popularity rating, how much does that matter to you and your colleagues? Or is what's more important where he stands in your district?
Well, if you're just going to look at it politically, I think your district's always more important, or your state. And the reality is, if he's in the mid-40s, that means probably among the people that voted for me, he's in the 80s. So you don't look at it in terms of the overall electorate. You look at it in terms of your own. If that's the driving factor, it shouldn't be. That's always something that politicians, by their very nature, take into consideration.
You think that's going to be the ultimate decider?
Well, as I said the other day to you, George, to me, polls are like, approval ratings for presidents are like an offensive line, right? And if an offensive line is weak, that means the defense is empowered and emboldened, and they're going to come and blitz, and they're going to come and try to disrupt the quarterback, and they're going to do that. I think Tom is right, as until Donald Trump's numbers start deteriorating in a serious way among Republicans, it won't matter, those polls won't matter until that happens.
You are seeing, go ahead. 3/4 of our conference has never served with a Republican president. And they've never served with the president that could literally reach into their base and generate hundreds of telephone call and pressure. His position is, amongst Republicans, is very powerful. He'll have a pretty good opening.
I guess the question is going to be, what will the difference that Jennifer was talking about earlier, that you're seeing these protests crop up pretty spontaneously around the country.
Yeah.
How powerful is that going to be?
Well, I think I agree with Matt. You know, if it's just on the left, if it's just the Democratic Tea Party, it's probably not going to dissuade the administration from taking any action it wants to put forth. If it starts to come from Republicans, if you start to see, you know, senators like, you know, Ben Sasse, who was very respectful, but also, you know, just earlier in the program, you know, was quick to condemn some of Donald Trump's comments. If you start to see that among a majority of the Senate, among many members of the House, among the Republican base and conservative writers, it's going to get a lot harder for them to accomplish what they want to.
See that coming?
I think we're seeing a lot of buyer's remorse as we speak. Vice President Pence mentioned the first few weeks of action. I think we're seeing the first few weeks of disaster and distraction. More and more independents, more and more libertarians, more and more Republicans are saying, I actually voted for this guy. He does not represent my values.
That is going to have to be the last word today. Thank you all very much. We'll be right back.